What's happening? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Just K, and this is just my opinion. And today I'm covering the Dillian Whyte versus Moses Itauma fight this weekend, and just giving you guys my prediction and how I think the fight may or will play out. So I don't know if you guys keep up with boxing at all, but I'm guessing if you're watching this, you do. So at the moment, the heavyweight division is kind of reached the pinnacle. You know, we've had Usyk is now the reigning champion, unified, one of the best, or is the best, as they're saying. You know, it used to be Tyson, but Tyson's getting older, Usyk's getting older, AJ's getting older. All these top level heavyweight boxers are kind of coming to the end of their careers, and we are now looking at potentially the next big thing, and that is Moses Itauma. Moses Itauma is a 20-year-old chap, and he's 12-0, and he's basically finished all of his opponents. But the crazy thing is that the way he's doing it, it's the way that he's handling his competition. Now, granted, I think his last few fights, you know how it is in boxing. They're not gonna give you like the most dangerous opponents to fight as they're building you up. But he's had some good bouts. I've watched his last few fights, and I mean, the guy's fantastic. He's phenomenal. It's just whether he is that next stage up. Is he as good as we think he is? Because it's hard to tell when you fight these guys that are, you know, B-list fighters, and you're an A-list fighter. You're gonna look like an A-star fighter every time, because you are just that little notch above. But he is now getting the test that we all want to see him get tested by, and it is Dillian Whyte. And everyone's kind of writing off Dillian. Like, Dillian is not going to be able to get out of the first round, and I think it's disrespectful. Because Dillian, his career maybe not be at the same stages as the AJs and the Tyson Furies, but he has some massive wins. He's beat Joseph Parker. He's beat Derek Chisora, and he's game, man. The guy's he's as tough as they come, and he doesn't turn up to just get through the rounds. He tries to take your head off. Now, granted, his last performance, what everyone is judging him on, wasn't the best. Like, it just wasn't, And he's 37 years old. I wouldn't say that's past it, but when you compare athletes, the 17 years between Moses and Dillian is massive, especially when you're talking about athletes. Now, if Moses himself was an average fighter with potential, I would say that experience that Dillian has is going to play a massive factor. I mean, it does play a factor, but I would say, it's too early, X, Y, and Z. But Moses is he's not the average up and coming boxer. They've compared him to the likes of Mike Tyson. I wouldn't say that he's on Mike Tyson's level, but he's shown potential to be something fantastic. And I think the main part about Moses that gets me is that it's his mindset. It's the way he carries himself. He's so calm for a 20-year-old under the spotlight with all the potential. He's so poised and calculated. He's not like normally 20-year-olds, they're brash, they're in your face. Moses is very kick back, chilled, calculated, and that's good, because it means that under that kind of mindset, he'll be able to listen to instructions. He understands that there's going to be people that can or will know better than him. He might be the talent, but it's the team that get you to that next stage. And that's the worrying thing, because if you just watch his highlights, if you just watch Moses Itauma's highlights, his combinations, his speed, it's the shots that you don't see coming that mess you up in boxing or in any combat sport. And that's where Moses shines. He kind of, his counters and his inside counters especially are flipping disgusting. He'll put people to sleep. And I think when you're comparing that to Dillian is more like he's got skill. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely a skilled boxer, but he's also a brute. You know, these heavyweights, they tend to they kind of lean into their power more when you're built like Dillian, and not so much, you know, the setting up of the shots. And the greats do that. So the Tyson Furies, I would say AJ on his good day, but on a bad day, not AJ. But AJ, the Usyks, they set up their shots. They set them up. It's like a puzzle that they're doing. And then once they figure you out, they kind of bring you into their traps. Where Dillian, he's not like that. He's more of a brute. And I think that's the problem. I think that's where he's gonna come unstuck. I think he's gonna probably walk into, or if not, get drawn into Moses' game. And I think Moses will probably get him out of there within 3 to 4. But if that doesn't happen, if Dillian is still standing in the 5th and the 6th, this is unmatched territory for Moses. He hasn't gone past. I think he's done a 10-rounder or an 8-rounder, but the guy wasn't on the same level as Dillian. And Dillian, he's done this. He's been through the walls. He's been through the trenches. You can just look at his resume and it speaks for himself. He's had 30. How many boxing bouts has he had? So he's 34. He's had 31 fights and lost three of them. So he's had 34 in total. And his record is 21 knockouts, and his losses are by knockout. And the people that he got knocked out by, one was Povetkin, and then he rectified that. And then the other one was obviously Tyson Fury, and that was when Tyson Fury was at the top of his game, really. And he rectified the Povetkin knockout. You could say that, you know, the Povetkin knockout was kind of like because I don't know if you ever saw the fight, but the Povetkin knockout was just a beautiful uppercut that just put him to sleep. And then you fast forward, he pretty much done the same thing to Povetkin. So he rectified that, and then he fought Tyson Fury, and since then he's kind of had 3 fights, and his last performance wasn't the best. And they're saying that because of that, he's kind of past it. I don't think so. I think if he can get it into the later rounds, it's his fight. But I just don't see it going past 4 rounds. Moses is too sharp, too calculated, too fast, and it's their milliseconds in boxing that count. And the age gap, that 20 to 37, you lose their milliseconds as you get older. You lose them. As much as older chaps might not want to admit it, we do. We slowly lose the little milliseconds. We're not as fast. We know we used to be a little bit quicker. And Moses is 20 years old, and he's at the top of his game at the moment. I mean, he's obviously going to get better, but for a 20-year-old, he's peaking for what a 20-year-old could do. And he's so quick, so fast with his combinations. I just think he's going to catch Dillian early. Not to say that I'm not writing Dillian off. I would never think, this is a fight. This is a test for Moses, but I think he's going to pass it with flying colours. I hope that it goes into the later rounds so that we can see if Moses is, is he got that next stage in him to draw it out into the later rounds. But I don't think it's from Dillian he's going to get that test. I think he's going to get a test from Dillian, just not the test where it's going to, take him into a dark place and see if he's got the heart for this. But we'll find out. My prediction is that Dillian gets probably knocked out between the 3rd and the 4th. I don't think it's the 1st, and I don't think it's the 2nd, even though there's a lot of people saying it's going to be within 1 round. That's bollocks. I think Dillian's got enough grit and he's game enough to take it into at least the middle of the fight, So 3rd or 4th, I think Moses will catch him. I think it's going to look like a 50-50 for a little while, if I'm being honest. I think the first 2 rounds, it's going to look like it could go either way. But then I think Moses is going to get his time in his range, and his counters are going to come in. And I think Dillian's going to get caught walking into something. But yeah, this has been just my opinion. Let's see, man. I reckon after this, I'm going to be 2-0. I'm going to start keeping account of how many predictions I get right, so you guys know. So anyway, yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's been your boy, Just K. I'm out. Peace.